Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all are doing really well. Today I'm going to be in the world of Newcrest doing a tiny home that is sort of situated back in the woods and is just very much in line with the trees. And I don't know, I looked at a picture again on Pinterest for inspiration for this one. I'm not exactly sure how to describe it. It's very much a Hannah house. That probably doesn't mean anything to you, but Hannah houses are very cute and cluttered and lots of green, lots of white and neutral tones. Green is my favorite color, so I was very much thinking of myself when I built this. I don't know if that's selfish or if that's just what I was feeling inspired by, is homes that I like, but that's essentially what I've done with this one. I ended up using a ton of seasons, like especially on the exterior, so I kind of decided to make this sort of like a seasons tiny home. It's not completely only seasons and base game, but the majority of it is. So I'm going to be referencing that quite a bit. I love seasons so much, and I really hadn't had the opportunity to sort of explore it and use it for builds. I've got a bunch of ideas of things that I want to do for seasons, especially using that like wood paneling siding with the rock and all of those other really cool things that we got with seasons. But for right now, I decided to do just a little quick tiny home for you all. I had a lot of fun doing this. It came together pretty quickly, actually. I didn't spend very much time on this. It was very much like, oh, I like this, and this looks good, and this looks good. And it just went from there, and which it's really refreshing to do builds like that sometimes, because sometimes I can kind of get a little bit overwhelmed, not overwhelmed, but like I can spend a lot of time doing like the details and trying to make sure that every single little thing looks good, when it's just more relaxing sometimes to just be able to find things that go and just be happy with it. And it's really an enjoyable little house to build. I'm really pleased with this. I would live here in a heartbeat. It's so cute. The exterior in that dark green siding I love. I don't think I've ever used that siding before. I've used it in probably other colors, but normally I try to stay away from like really bold colored exteriors just because I feel like neutrals, it's just easier to work with neutrals. But I really liked that green, especially with the white windows and the door from Seasons. I also use, as you probably saw, the columns and the spandrels from Seasons. Like I said, I don't go completely only with seasons, just to, the majority, but I did try to keep that in mind while I was doing this. Just doing a little bit of the exterior, put in some trees and some plants just around and about. I didn't go too crazy, but I did want it to seem like this sim really like to work in their garden. It is obviously, of course, for a single sim. It's more of a studio house type of thing, so I don't actually have an enclosed off bedroom. It's just a bedroom off to the side by itself, and we will get into the interior here in a few minutes. I'm just finishing up the outside. I do give them a sort of a little backyard area. It's not really like a porch or a patio or anything like that. I just put in a little an extra exit to the house right back there by the bedroom, and then you're gonna see me make a little sort of stone path all the way back to that huge oak tree in the back corner, and then I'm gonna put in a couple of little benches and just kind of make like a seating area. I didn't want to go too crazy with like lots of furniture or like a pool or anything like that. I just didn't think a sim that lived in this small of a house would necessarily have that. So just put in, using the drawing tool to put in some stones, and I put those two benches. I can't remember if I think they're from base game. From what I think they're from base game. I have never used them. They're not really like a style that I usually build with, but I thought that it kind of worked. That like white wrought iron, I thought that was really sweet to like just sit under this tree and have like a little end table and some plants and a candle. I thought it was a really nice place for Sims to sit and chat or just have some coffee or I don't know, something like that. So I thought that was really cute. But then I went over to this side right here and put in a bird bath and a bird house, which looked really sweet. And I just got it like rounded out the yard pretty well. And I put in those hydrangeas right there to kind of like make like a white and blue hydrangea bush, which I thought looked really nice. And I was going to put some ivy, but it just really didn't seem to work out. So I'm moving on to putting some windows around the actual house itself rather than just the front. And then you're going to see me move inside here in a second. But I was really pleased with the way I kept the backyard very simple. Sometimes with backyards, I get kind of fatigued because I don't know, it's not as fun to build for me as, of course, the meat of the houses. Backyards just seem a little bit like, ugh, now I have to do another backyard. But I'm going to get better. I think I need to find some better inspiration for it. I've never really looked at Pinterest or other like websites for backyard inspiration. And I especially feel like it's really hard when you're building in a neighborhood that doesn't have like an established backyard feel to it. Like in my previous Victorian house, a lot of the neighboring yards had like hedges and like pools in the back, so it's easy to kind of follow suit. I don't know, maybe just need more practice. But anyway, I moved onto the front porch. I put a couple of little plants and that cute little stool that also came with Seasons, I'm pretty sure, with that plant on it. I thought that was a nice little way to round out the front porch. I didn't go too crazy, just a couple little things for the little small porch, and then I changed the roof to be those irregular shingles, and I put that Seasons chimney on top. And then I'm going to move to the inside, just putting some lights around so we can see what we're doing. And then I am going to start in the kitchen, I believe. I was trying to figure out the floors for this, so let me preface this. The wall color is the last thing that I do for this home. And I've started doing this in a couple of builds that I've started since I've done this, is I've put all of the decorations in that I want and then I pick a wall color. And it is really, really working for me because a lot of times I stress about the wall color and I'll pick something and then when I start putting in the furnishings that I like, it just looks a little bit crap. So I've started doing all of the interior pieces first and then I do the walls and it's really been working for me. I'm very, very pleased. So I think I'm going to start doing that. Let me know in the comments if you prefer to do the wall color first or if you save it to last like me. Let me know how your feelings go about that. Is it something that comes easy to you? Because I feel like I use like 3 wall colors and that's it. But most of my builds are neutral, so it's really hard to get away from those tans and grays. But anyway, you're going to see me start to place some furniture around. I went with those dark green cabinets to match the dark green exterior. And then pretty much the colors for this build are greens, whites, and dark browns and sort of tan neutral colors. I really like this color palette. I think it's very, very pretty. There, I don't know if you noticed it. I was having the problem with my last build putting those round tables in there, the smaller ones. It makes the lights go off. I don't get it. I was really looking forward to using a little round table, but I mean, I couldn't be bothered to figure out the glitch. So, so I went with that glass top one, which I think was really nice. And those dining tables or the dining chairs, from Seasons as well. And I also used the fridge and the stove from Jungle Adventure. Seasons didn't come with any, and I just thought that fit the vibe of this house so well. So it's not Seasons or base game, but I thought it was really cute either way. But for the rest of the furniture, I pretty much use Seasons or base game, especially for that little chair that I kind of wedge in there in the corner. I thought that was really cute. And then I put this new base game bookshelf in there. I tried to kind of merge it with the counter or with those floating shelves that I put right there, and it works all right. I don't think it's necessarily perfect blend of those, but I think it's okay. And there you see me finally put the wall color in. I went with that sort of like shiplap white. I thought it looked really nice. I didn't want to go with anything too crazy just because I've got such a stark color in the cabinets, so wanted to keep that really neutral as well. And then you're going to see me struggle a lot to find a green rug. In my head, I pictured this beautiful, gorgeous dark green rug, and of course, I mean, it just doesn't exist in the packs that I have. So I ended up going with something a little bit different, that sort of like tan rug that we got with Laundry Day. I really like that rug too. I also use it a ton. And then just putting a few little clutter items around and about. You're going to see me revisit the kitchen a lot when it comes to clutter. I just couldn't clutter it up enough. I just kept thinking about, I could do another plant and another thing on the counter and all of these things. And it's not excessive. I think it looks really nice. It was excessive in my head because I was spending so much time thinking about it. But anyway, putting in a few little items. Again, some of these came with cool kitchen stuff. So like that salt and pepper shaker that I'm putting up there, and I'm going to put in that cutting board behind the sink. And I'm also going to put in a couple of spices here in a minute. So those are from Cool Kitchen stuff. They aren't from Seasons. Again, I didn't mean for it to be a Seasons exclusive. It just kind of sort of happened that way, and it gave me sort of an opportunity to explore that pack, and I'm in love with it. It's perfect. But anyway, yeah, just putting in a couple more plants. I did imagine that this sim who lives here is an outdoor lover or someone that appreciates nature enough to bring several plants indoors with him or her. So I put in that little wall hanging plant in the bedroom, and then I picked out those hanging silverware or cooking utensils to hang under the shelf. I thought that looked really cool. And then I did decide to move that wall back 1 square and put that blanket item from Seasons right there next to the bed. I thought that was really, really sweet. And then I did put another another stool underneath that bookcase right there as an extra chair that they could pull out for guests. And I was going to use one of those hanging plants. I do use it from Jungle Adventure to sort of look like it was hanging off the shelf, but I couldn't get it to not clip to the wall. So it looks like it's a hanging plant, but if you look at it too closely, you can realize that it's just kind of floating there. But I really like the way that looks, like scaled down like that. I think that's a really cool piece. If we could only figure out a way to merge it with a pot, and I feel like I've seen people do that before. I just couldn't figure it out on the day that I built this. So, but if you have any tips for that, leave them below, or if you've seen anybody do that successfully. But then I also put in that cork board with the with the postcards from the debug menu, as well as a hat rack and a little umbrella stand. And I don't put a couch in this living room, obviously. I thought it would be fine for your sim to sit at the kitchen table to watch TV and then relax on their bed. I just didn't think it was necessary. And I think that this room actually looks really, really sweet. But just putting a few finishing touches in here, finding lamps that didn't drive me crazy. I did go with that one specifically because it was from Seasons. I think it kind of works. There were probably other lamps that could have done a little bit better, but I realized that I don't have very much open wall space in this home, so I don't have to spend too much time looking for artwork. I did pick that one art piece that's like the countryside with the little fence running around. I thought that was really nice. And then you're going to see me move on to the bathroom, which is the final room in this build. This time I do go with the dark green for the walls. I thought that was a nice place to put that in there. And I mean, this bathroom's pretty simple. I use a Seasons shower and a Seasons sink. Just put in a toilet and a few accents, and then we call this one good. So this bathroom's really cute though. I'm really happy with the way that it turned out. Like I said, it didn't take too much work because it's a very small bathroom, and just put a few little accent pieces here and there, and that's pretty much the end of this build. So thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Let me know in the comments if you like this build and what you'd like to see me do next. So thanks for watching. Bye guys.